All right. Hey, everybody. It is me, Umbra, feeling a little bit more rested from the previous week, where I was definitely on the lower end of just lower. But here we are. We're going to be doing an arena video today. I had some extra time this week not streaming, so I figured, you know what? We have Prene, we have our vision card. I spent way too much on both. How about we actually try for once in Arena? Now, it was kind of an interesting time. Before we talk too much about Preen and how good or what teams or how my setup was and all of that, I do want to highlight that the Arena map this time was very much focused on Thunder units still. Thunder units still have a boosted HP and attack. So that made the climb even more interesting because either having water or water and ice combinations did not really help. Thunder is just, still really good into the water matchups. So yeah, Thunder, basically a lot of lightning teams, but I thought we'd take a look roughly about what is JP high level arena looking like within reasonableness, because I mean, you look at the ranking right now and where I am versus how many points I would need to even be in top 100. Like, top 100 is just going to take almost double the points, and this is Sunday evening. So it's not like I'm going to get there. It's just a little bit too much of an ask, and I'm fine with this. Being around top 150 does feel like I've made an accomplishment this week. But just looking at the stupidness that is like trying to get to number one of like 273,000 points, I just cannot figure out, even with the bonuses being what it is and whatnot, I just can't math out how much it actually costs to do this kind of thing. So I'm not particularly interested in doing that kind of thing. Also, because you look at it and JP Arena right now, and you look at this, and it's like, oh, an Ares 3. Yeah, that makes sense that they're just doing this kind of thing. You look at this, and it's like a Bronze 1, which is not even really a guild. Something's wrong there. I'm not saying it. Allegedly, something is very friggin' fishy. But yeah. I'm not going to make the climb ever to number one because it's just not worth it. This game should be fun. This is way too much of a grind. I don't know what the fuck is going on here, and I want nothing to do with it. But so let's talk really about this week. So the bonuses this week that effectively kind of motivated me was Preen and her vision card. Having both of them, but this week, as you can see, there's a wide variety of elements that are capable of being here, such as Eldyra with supporting the water element, wind, earth, and lightning. There's a lot of potential for variability in exactly how you want to make your teams. Hell, even Ayaka is here for just purposes and reasons and whatnot. So there were two teams that I effectively climbed with this week. First of all, my mixed team, and second of all, whenever I came across a fire team, just for making my week slightly easier, was my pure water team, and this team still works really, really well. I'm not going to show this one off too terribly much because I want to take a look at some higher level teams because they are still pretty difficult, and those were the ones I kind of struggled with. But all in all, considering that most of my units are level 115, I was pretty happy with our overall performance this week. So this is my Preen, currently sitting at level 115. Going with Golem, I was more of a one of the first espers that I actually had done. At the time, I did not have Chaos Odin. Having kind of rebuilt my Chaos Odin probably would have been a better decision overall, but that wasn't really my big focus here. My big focus was seeing if she could be very, very defensive, and into that, it kind of worked. It wasn't as great as I kind of hoped for it to be, But with the human killer and whatnot on it, it was interesting to say the least, and just to protect against, wind. But the thing I will say, Prene is very, very interested in her own stuff and not so much in TMR abilities by the just testing that I've done throughout the week. As for Snow, I have to really give props to Snow. I think when he first came out on JP, I thought he was good. I didn't think he was as good as he is. I've said quite a few times on stream and on camera just that for video recording that I thought Snow basically needed to be 120 to truly excel, but this week he's done really, really great for me. Fighting it out as best he can with his abilities, and I'm just really, really impressed. And no, my Snow is not maxed, but even not necessarily maxing him completely, I found a lot of success with him, even with 2 lower level units this week. And of course, I can't forget Alaya, who is just a superstar all around. I guess I should show resistances for people who are very, very curious about what it looks like. Very much gearing myself towards the wind matchup, as it's a matchup I can quite handsomely leverage. And just jumping over here. But yeah, you can get an idea for all of that. And my water team is just essentially the water team that you would basically expect. Had some decent success with it, but not incredibly amazing. So yeah, let's take a look, because we're finally up here, what this range of units look like. So you can see wind, water, lightning parties. We scroll down, we see more water, more wind, more lightning, a few earth here and there. And this is kind of the way the JP meta is. Climbing up, I can tell you, I did not see hardly any light, and especially no light after top 1000 from my own experience. As for, what's another element? I've seen a few fires here and there, but nothing really, really worth speaking about. I have not seen any dark for a good long time. At least not in the, main unit being advertised for the party. And, God, I'm just trying to think which elements I haven't talked about yet. But yeah, most of the top of JP Arena has been very much this kind of mix. So lightning teams, obviously not what I have been running into, but let's just scroll up through the teams. So this is a fairly common win team. Seeing a lot of people cutting June this week for a more just offensive one. I've had really good luck against these. I'm going to show off a matchup here very quickly. Ice matchups are pretty tricky right now for me and my party. Sometimes you win, but more often than not, it feels a little bit difficult as they're just going with pure range. Lightning parties I have completely ignored and tried to stay away from, because we are running a water unit, and that matchup just isn't really that great. And there isn't enough pure lightning magic teams that I could really get away with just using Celeste. But taking a look across the vision cards, this is basically what you should expect to see, kind of thing. This one's interesting just because, again, tanks seem to be being kind of thrown out this week. And here is one of the pure water teams. I have to say, even with my water ice hybrid, which is using some of the job VCs, I gotta say this really, really does a pretty good job. A couple of fights that I've seen this week, I've even seen Snow doing considerable damage, like potentially 9,000 or upwards when you take in combination the new Strike vision card with the Human Killer vision card off the job one. There is quite a bit of awesome power to be gotten out of Strike in Arena. It feels really cool, but yeah, the water matchup, for whatever reason, still kind of difficult. Could be because I'm missing certain pieces of equipment, or just, well, the Final Fantasy X card, as well as this card too. I haven't actually thought about this card yet, but yeah. There is some stuff still missing with that. As for Earth, Earth is really, really going for... someone mislabeled their equipment here. That's a shame. But yeah, Earth is actually pretty strong too, and can be mainly because I think of Queen Mashari is a couple of times I have lost to this party. But yeah, next up, Lightning. Again, more of a common Lightning team I've run across, but pretty okay. This Wind team we'll be coming back to in a second. Here we have Lightning plus Water, and it makes sense. The map this week is still geared towards Lightning, and that has made it a little bit more difficult to feel like Prene has really accelerated in Arena, because she has there's just so many Lightning teams to go up against. So sometimes it can just be like a almost straight line of Lightning based teams, and not exactly the greatest matchup. So yeah, scrolling down, just looking up. Feel free to pause if you want a better look. We can take a little bit of a closer look at some of these units. So, for instance, here's an Astrius. Going down, looking at his resistances. Taking a look at a full 120 Prene. Now, this does have the... I believe this is even being... This is the current piece of equipment that is farmable on Global. You can see the kind of stats that Prene can end up with. 70 Bravery, though. That doesn't feel very good. Can you believe that? You can get to top... See, you can slack off really hard, provided that in Arena you're just willing to do this kind of thing where you just keep refreshing. Just keep refreshing, kids. That's the moral of the story. But yeah. Resistant, just look really quickly here across a few different teams that you could potentially even you, dear viewer, could run these teams. Halloween Leela this week, showing off what her current JP stats look like in high level Arena. Very weak to lots of resistances, but you know what? If Joom's doing her job, kind of difficult. And I have to admit, she is, with her range and everything, is pretty good at making Prene's life difficult, just because high range and whatnot. Joom, yeah, basically what you're kind of looking at on average. And of course, super glassy for all those global players, just to show what that's JP stats kind of look like right now. And we'll just take a look here. This is the highest one that I can take a peek at right now. I will say this, depending on how this matchup is shaped, can be a win or a lose. Just because if she is on the opposite side to my gunner, seems like quite a difficult one. But hey, let's run a mission, and I'm also going to just talk about Prene in PvE content this week, because that is another place that I have been running Prene quite a bit. So yeah, Prene in Arena, I've had pretty good success. I've had a good amount of wins, but a couple of losses. But we also had Guild Raid this week, which is kind of the PvE content that you a lot of the times are trying to focus on. And she has actually just been great in PvE, like going up against the matchup with Titus and Astrius and Farm. She's really been capable of dishing out high damage, and very quickly too. But I have to give a lot of credit to her, just being really, really, really good. Because yeah, she actually is just really, really, really strong. All right, so yeah, get that. Apparently using guts twice makes, yes, sense. Oh, well, I've won this multiple times in the last little while. So maybe this is just my loss case. Like, oh, this is the time I'm going to actually lose this. Never mind. Here's the thing. So yeah, Alaya, obviously, big star here. Would be amazing if I had my character kind of good, but Alaya is just going to do her thing here. Take a few steps back and win it. So yeah, not the greatest of wins, but you know, enough of a win. And yeah, it's been kind of like that this week. High level arena with 2 level 115 characters a lot of the time into matchups at full 120s is tough. It actually is quite tough. But you know what? I don't ever get to really fire this off. So like, you know what? We'll do a few more, but kind of skipping because the load time is a little bit long, and I don't want to go too much into the. I don't want this video to be too long, so just showing a couple of matchups and their end results, because I've seen a lot of this, and it really doesn't make too terribly much of a change for my experience this week. Yeah, this one I would expect to lose because, yeah, so she moves ahead a couple of turns. That kind of just puts me down a single character, which is not good for me. And yeah, she just has a real doesn't want to cast it kind of thing going on, which is a little frustrating. We get a double shot there, which is pretty nice. Moving a little closer than I want to be to that glassy. Thanks a lot, AI. Oh, nice hit, though. All right, so yeah, there we go. Another win. But you can see just, like, not even really moving up in the ranks anymore, even with solid foundational wins. And yeah, so, you know, like, it's pretty repeatable, so just skip it again just to prove that the outcome is basically kind of the same. But yeah, it's been an interesting week doing this. I've never really made this big of a push into this deep into arena. So it's been an experience, and I have to say, even at 115, this team does work, and it does work quite well together. Multi-elemental characters is a thing, especially with the right combination of job VCs. And yes, Water and Ice obviously does have a fair amount of overlap. Wow, that's actually kind of interesting. There's a... All right, I'll show this one as a closeout to this video because I don't want this video going over 20 minutes. And I'm basically kind of repeating myself. But you know what? I got to high level arena for once, you know, like I can do the around 1,000 usually, but I made a big push this week, got into almost, well, basically into top 150, and that's kind of where I wanted to get to. You know, I've proven that these characters are pretty darn good and whatnot, and I'm pretty happy with them, pretty happy with this combination. I do wish that it wasn't necessarily just like such a lightning week, because that's been a little more frustrating for me. Ooh, heavy hit. Also, she just didn't. Okay, all right, well. Yeah, that's what the AI chose to do. Oh, well, you know, lucky evade, I guess. Whatever. Is what it is. So yeah, Earth can even compete sometimes, especially against this team. I don't know, Prene has felt a little bit underperforming in terms of PvP in some matchups, but, you know, might take some more time fine-tuning and whatnot. But anyway, that's all for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you, I don't know, got something out of it. I'm not an arena specialist, but it was an experience this week. And you know what? I'm quite happy spending less time in Arena, because boy, is it just a grind fest. Anyway, thanks for watching. Look forward to more streams, more videos this week, and yeah, see you next time.